So in this video, what we're going to be looking at is how we finish up the poster, getting it downloaded, and then putting it onto your OneNote page so that I can grade it. So let's assume that I've done all of my 20 vocabulary words. I have their terms, their names, the vocabulary word, and their definition. And now I just want to finish this up. I am perfectly satisfied with having your poster on a white background. Some of you may want to be more creative, and you've noticed that over here there is a section called background. So if you choose to, say, add a background, here's the problem that I always see is your background becomes too busy. So for example, if you picked a background like this that has all of those triangles in it, I can't see hardly anything. That wouldn't work for me. And I would probably say that you need to go and fix it. So sometimes if you're putting backgrounds on, you have to experiment as to what kind of background would actually be a good one. Because you have to look at how everything else is on here. So how is your font with some of the stuff? Does the background bleed out the font? Like that one right there, I couldn't even read a thing. And I would say, no, not taking that. So it's up to you. But I'm happy with it just the way it is. But some of you like to be creative, and I don't want to stifle that. So if you choose to add a background, sometimes when you add a background, you're like, I really want this, so now I got to go and change font color. So maybe I have to change my name, and I actually got to make it, maybe yellow stands out more on that. Or if your background is black, maybe you'd have to change your font to white, something of that nature. But let's just say, okay, I'm okay with this, and I've saved it because I don't trust that Piktochart will auto-save. So now I'm ready to turn this in. To do that, what you're going to do is you got to download. So you've got to make sure it's saved. I would just double check that everything's the way it is on here. Notice that with different blocks, you'd have to actually add the background to each block. I wouldn't put different backgrounds on different blocks. That looks weird. So I would stick with one solid background for everything. But anyway, I'm done. I make sure it's saved, little check marks there. And now I'm ready to turn it in. So to do that, I'm going to download. So when you click on download, you can only download in the PNG format, okay? And I would leave it at normal, but here's what you got to remember to do. See this where it says download as blocks? You need to undo that, or it comes in pieces and I can't see anything. It has to be, this is where we're stitching all three blocks together into one poster. And then you're going to download as a PNG. Now, what it's doing, you can see up here, it's downloading. The question is, where is it downloading? So it should ask you to download this somewhere, and you'll see the file name if you titled it right. We'll say forensics poster. You can't change the PNG, it's got to stay that way. Where I always put it is in my forensics image folder, okay? Because it'll be easier to find later, and just click save. And if you're using Chrome, you can see that it's going to save right there. So now that is actually saved to your hard drive of your device. Don't save it into OneDrive because sometimes there's a conflict with internet and the school district's OneDrive. So I always save it to my computer, and later I can copy it into OneDrive for a backup, but I would do that, put it on your computer. Once you've done that, now you're over here, you're back to your OneNote page, and you're going to insert it as a picture on here. So I would just click here, make sure your cursor's flashing, and then I'm going to go to Insert, Picture from File. And I got to find it. So if I remember where I put it in my forensics folder. And you can see there it is. I'm going to click Open. And it's going to pop it on there. It's going to be small. You don't need to stretch it or anything, because if I need to see it clearly. I can grab the screen on my device and I can bring it up and see what you put on there. And then I can grade it. So there I have an image of my poster on this screen. Okay? And that's all I need to do. Later, you'll be turning it in on OneNote, or excuse me, using Summit, but we'll get to that later. So this is all I basically need to see, is that you have put that picture on there, and we will be good to go. And I have no idea what that is. I'll fix that. Okay, so hopefully that helps.